Okay, this is a video on just some tips when doing the home highlighting technique, because it is one that lots of people are using, and I think there's just a few little pointers that are really important so that when you do it, you get the best result. And actually, I really genuinely believe that this effect will look so much more natural than what the highlight techniques that we do in the salon with the mesh and the foil. And the reason why I prefer this method is because you're not getting any stop and start line. You're blending out the product, and each highlight will go to a slightly different level. So if it's done well and you practice this, it's a really natural, great result. So the bleach that I always use is the Jerome Russell Be Blonde. So this comes in 3 strengths, and it also comes in, there's a highlighting kit, and then there's you can buy it separately. You can buy just the powder and just the peroxide. If you can mix up just a little bit of it, as long as you don't mix it together and the lid is really screwed on, then the product should last. I always really go for the strongest one, number 1, purely for the fact that with bleach, you can take it off at any time. So if you go for the strongest one, you can always take it off quicker. Also, with this technique, because you're doing it very fine and you're using very small bits of product, it can dry up. So it's actually best to have the strongest product to do this anyway. Now I'm literally just going to do a few little tips really on how to do this. Now, one of my first tips would be to not stress yourself about doing the whole head. My tips would be, I would focus on just the hair that you can see. So I would go round your hairline, round your ears, and round here, and then through the middle. Like I say, if you do this and you try and do too much, you are going to get bored. And if you get bored, you're going to start taking thicker sections. And if you take thicker sections, then you will look stripy and you will be able to see a defined difference. What you need to remember with bleach, it is taking out the colour. So if you put bleach on your clothes, it will just lift it out, and it just does it exactly where you put the product. So if you splash bleach, it will lift up in blotches. Also, bleach swells with heat. Your scalp is quite warm, and that's why if you're doing a full head scalp bleach, your roots always lift the most, so you leave those to last. But the same, you do not want to be getting bleach on your scalp when you're doing highlights, because I've just seen, I was like, who's that? It's my twin. Yeah, if you get this bleach on your scalp, it's going to swell, and then you'll have blotches on your scalp. So that is a really important tip. And then basically, I always like to do it, I want it to look natural. Like even if you want it really blonde, just do more of them, but keep them small. Like keeping them small is going to be where you get the best result. If you try and go in too thick because you're trying to rush it, then it will go blocky. So you can literally see that bit of hair there. I'm just putting it on like that, smoothing it down like that. Oh, actually, let me get a towel. So I've never used gloves, but if you probably, my hands don't get stung by it anymore. They've I think I've lost the feeling in my fingertips. But you want to use surgical gloves if you need to use them, because obviously you can't use them big plastic flappy ones. Or I just have a towel here, because so I just do it with my fingers and then I dry it off on my towel. As you can see, this towel's been exposed to that quite a few times. So here, I'm going to just go again. So I'm just going to literally, but you can see how small that is. Let's come in a bit closer.
The lodge by the water, still my favorite place, and I could come every year and it wouldn't change.
Like that. It's literally, it will lift where you put it. So just think, right, where do I want it to be? I would start at the front, because if you are going to get bored, it's better if you get bored at underneath rather than the top. So I would always start around the front. Also, if you are taking a long time about it, you can take the front ones off easier than you can take the bottom ones off. So you could do all of this top section, wash that off, and then you can do and then do the underneath section. It's easier to do it that way around. Yeah, and I like to just work around the hairline, so just get... I think the thing is, as well, is that you've got to remember, this is like convenience, and I actually think this is a better result. And also, because you're doing it yourself, you can come back to it. So I would definitely do it. I would, if it's time consuming and boring and you don't enjoy it, I would say just do it a bit at a time, so that you get really good highlights, rather than getting and then doing it, rushing it. You can literally do this bit one time, then do this bit another time. It's, you know. What other tips are there with that? So don't get it on the scalp, small sections. What bleach does as well, so probably when you go to a salon, you never actually get to see it when the bleach highlights are washed off. Now when you wash bleach off, it takes colour out of the hair, so it will be like yellow. Ideally, if you wash it off and it's bright yellow, that is a really good result from bleach. If it's still orange, sometimes it's not lifted enough and you need to leave it on for a longer time. With colour, you can always go back and do more. So if it's a case that you've done it once and it looks gingery, like, it's nothing to panic about. It's literally like, okay, that I haven't lifted it enough, so I'll do it again. Or it is a case of, it just needs to be toned. But you don't never need to really panic about, you know, the only thing that I can't help you through is if you really like over bleach your hair and then it breaks. Like, you can't be overlapping bleach. And also, if you cut your hair too short, I can't help you stick it back on. But pretty much most other things, you know, they're workable, and there's different ways. So and that's why it's important to have a professional, have a professional, and that's why this service is good. And you should just keep it on your phone at all the times, because you just never know. This isn't just about like doing it the first time. This is about you doing something else and it not going quite right, or next time wanting to try something different. It's, you know, having that professional advice with whatever you do to your hair. So I'm not going to do it because I've got other videos on how to actually do this technique. It was more that I just wanted to do a little quick brief of tips and just show you how fine these are, and how you can't like be swishing them about everywhere as well. You want it to be like that, and you don't, you know, you leave them flat, and you don't rub the bleach into the other hair. So it's a delicate process, but the result is absolutely brilliant, and you can just build it up more and more and more. And that is the beauty. Rather than paying £200 to go to a salon and have it done, you can do it yourself. So yeah, I hope that is helpful.